Now, if you speak to anyone who began gaming in the late 90s and the early 2000s, you almost certainly hear them reminisce about their favorite platforming games of all time. This includes Sonic, Donkey Kong, Spyro, or maybe even Crash Bandicoot as well, which are those nostalgic platforming favorites for some. Platforming games never really went away, even if they faded from recollection. We've seen many examples over the previous years, with Crash Bandicoot getting a remake, Sonic making a comeback, etc. Now, of course, many platformers are still being released. However, they are frequently eclipsed by today's AAA games. That is the case, for example, for Chocobo GP. I was honestly really rooting for it, as it's one of my favorite childhood kart racer, alongside with Crash Team Racing. But then it got overshadowed by the release of Elden Ring, and I didn't even know that the game was out. Just so you know, I am having an absolute blast with Elden Ring. But that doesn't derive from the fact that if the nostalgic trick is big enough for a specific title, the excitement of a comeback will be too loud to be overlooked. And that is the case for Kao The Kangaroo. On June 2020, Tate Multimedia, which is the game developer studio behind the Kao series, revealed that Kao is getting a massive comeback in 2022. Obviously, this announcement spread like wildfire, and now the community of platforming games are eagerly waiting for their next remake to be released. But of course, the wait is not even that long, as the demo is released to the public for most of them to test the game out early this year. I tried it myself and I find the entirety of the game really good. Of course, I only played the first section, but I can tell that this is going to be a really good game. Much better gameplay than I've initially expected, especially the combat, which I find it really meaty and satisfying. But we'll save that topic and my review of that game for another video. Right now, here are some quick reasons why you should look out and pay attention to Kao The Kangaroo. First off, obviously, the game is beautiful. I played the demo and looked at the trailers, and the amount of graphical goodness is definitely right here. Of course, it is not gonna be Red Dead Redemption 2 or Horizon Forbidden West type of good, but the sheer amount of colors with its beautiful environment really does stand out once you take a good look at it. Now, Kao never tries to emulate realisticness into the game, but rather the beauty lies in how unrealistic and cartoonish things look. Simple, breathtaking, and that's what makes the game charming. And speaking of childhood, let's talk about the reboot of the game itself. This is finally a chance to relive some of our nostalgic childhood moments once more, as this game is a faithful reboot of the franchise, which means that it is not a remake of the original, and the game is built solely from the ground up. Most of the mechanics are roughly the same as previous games, only better. Polished mechanics and smoother movement is definitely here, and it is truly invigorating once again to run around the world once more with a familiar taste to it. Now let's move on to the main part of the game. Many platformers have been created or died in obscurity of the mechanics and controls, which are the crux of platforming games. But for Kao, the platforming aspect gives the gist of the game a pretty easy mark, by just simply running, jumping, climbing, throwing, or punching your way through for success. Easy to pick up and play, but also challenging to master, is what I would say to perfectly describe Kao The Kangaroo. It has the usual elements of platforming games like hidden areas, special rooms, and even some sort of puzzle or reader moments. I've spent my time with the demo by focusing on the combat side of things, because let's face it, the gameplay has to live up to the moments of the game, otherwise it would be a total flop. Well, I'm happy to say that it does live up or even exceeded my expectations for the platforming side of things. The controls just work. It feels like a true game that exists in 2022, as mistakes and deaths really does feel that it's on you, not the game, not on anyone else. I highly suggest to keep an eye on this game, as it could really surprise platforming / reboot lovers. And hey, people are even calling this demo the brother of Crash Bandicoot, which I would take that as a compliment. Let's stand by on what other surprises this game has in store for us, and as usual, I'll keep you updated if there's something else to cover about Kao The Kangaroo. And while you're still here, do check out these two videos as well, as you might enjoy them just as much as I did in making them. This is TheViperian signing off. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay awesome.